the button. Like 3 seconds later, it says live, and it said like 28 seconds. What the hell is that all about? Why the hell does it say 28 seconds if we've only been live for 3 seconds? That's stupid.
No.
Goddamn duck. Goddamn duck is lying.
It's building in the delay.
The goddamn. It could. I don't know. Look at you.
There you go.
Think you're so,
Are we live?
I
think
don't
you're
use
so
such
goddamn.
technology. I use XSplit.
Think you're so goddamn smart because you know stuff. Psst.
Are we on the ride of the people?
No.
Just rants and raves.
Why?
The right of the peepholes. See that duck up there? Say, hey there, Mr. Duck. You know what? Hopefully that duck will be changed to a little Night Strike Cartman one of these days here.
You don't have the duck. Where's your duck?
I have the. Hey, where is the duck? Hey, where is
You
the
actually
duck?
paid to get the
All
duck?
right, call sorry, somebody stole the duck.
Did you pay to get rid of the
No,
duck?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Seeing how I know stuff, you're probably on a free trial membership, and on the they take away the duck.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that! Either that, or they wiped out the. Yeah, I can't imagine they wiped out the duck.
Cindy may have been
Anyway.
close by and just smashed the
He's a
duck
rather
with the
classy
water
looking
thing.
duck. He has a monocle, it looks like. I know that's the headphone, but on the
Yeah, he's
small one,
fancy.
it looks like a monocle.
He's fancy pants. So, welcome to the closer. Thanks for tuning in and watching and stuff. We will see how many people we can get to unwatch this. If you saw my Instagram post today, I don't know how that happens, but I had a -1 view the other day on a live chat. Makes no sense to me. G took credit for it, though. He said every time he accidentally watches one of my shows, he calls YouTube and tries to get his time back. So apparently.
Oh, he's not the only one. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I just must have not caught it until now, till it had one unview, and that was it. It wasn't it was less than a wash on that one. So yeah, definitely noticed it. Let's see who's out there. Snob's wife says she's first, but she's lying. Snob, your wife's a liar.
I know.
Obnoxious, grim. Yeah, I know. Ozzy's out there. Bloke, what's up? Seven Wonders, Moo, gun-toting pacifist. Ozzy, Pfeiffer. Oh boy, that thing just skipped way ahead. Lockjaw's out there. What's going on, Lockjaw? Barbara's out there. Bass Boy. Hey, long time no see. What's going on, buddy guy? Snob's wife says, you have videos? Who knew? Oh, your old lady's a comedian out there, huh? All right, regular. She is to comedy as Barbara Streisand is to comedy. She's real good.
I don't even know her.
I don't know that lady. She changed her avatar back. Where's the Deagle?
I think that's just on StreamYard that she has a deagle.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even realize you can change it. Oh yeah, I guess you do. I guess you have to upload a different. Yeah, you got to upload one, right? It doesn't automatically bring it over. So, and what's nice now, I don't think it was like this last week for the show. Is everybody has their avatars there, so that's cool.
Yeah, I noticed that when I popped in. I'm like, oh wow, we got avatars.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Now all they got to do is add a couple, and we'll be good to go. But if they don't, hopefully Night Strike can take care of us over there at GunTube. Get in the chamber there, see if we can get some extra people.
I hate you.
If you haven't, huh? Oh, look at that guy. Ooh, he's got multiple personalities. It's like that movie Split. If you haven't checked out guntube.org, check it out. And there's an Indiegogo going. I love to say that. Sometimes I mess it up. Sometimes I don't. Help fund it and get that sucker up and working, up and running, purring like a kitten. And we'll start using that, and we can leave the duck in the dust. Have more people, up to 10, 15 people, which could be a total melee. We could have a total free-for-all, get like 15 people on the show.
This will literally be like a 24-hour live chat.
That would be scary.
Oh, it'd be horrendous. Yeah, it'd be a mess, but it would be fun. So, in here, We got Mr. Kingpin. What's going on, buddy? He's sleepy. Kingpin.
Yeah, I was stuck on a bunch of different screens and I couldn't get out of them. So sorry about that. I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Obnoxious. Now you are a
Fritter Critter. This is
yeah,
Fritter. This is Fritter Critter.
Quickly
Critter.
becoming my favorite YouTube channel. Him and Walter are fighting for my favorite YouTube channel.
That's a young. That's a picture of a young Sarge.
Yes.
Little
That's
trash
Sarge
panda.
in his hooligan days with the little bandit mask and eating his little fritter.
There you go. There you go.
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Snobberooski, what's happening?
Oh man, I've been so busy. I just don't even know. I took a nap all day today after Gary's show, so I just kind of just woke up.
Oh man, I need a nap. You guys want to take over? I'll go crash for a little bit.
We got this. Don't worry.
Unknown user says I typed worthless pile of crap into Google and it sent me to this chat. Well, it's good that Google has me at the top of their list now. At least they're doing something right. Glimtech, what's happening?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Thanks for the invite. Doing some steel shooting today, but other than that, that's about it.
Very cool. Budget, what's happening?
Just chilling, enjoying the wonders of electricity and whatnot after my hike I finished up today. Kind of sore and stiff.
Mm-hmm.
That trail, no joke.
And where did you end up going?
I went in the Wayne National Forest here in Ohio, in the southern Ohio, by Marietta to Archer's Fork Loop. Real hikers will laugh at it. You know, I'm talking like people that hike the AT and the PCT and stuff like that. But for me, a fat guy, this shit was brutal. I mean, it's
Right.
up and down like this, man. There's a lot of terrain there.
Yeah.
Did 14 miles over 2 days. It was we did better than we did the last time we did it. And because, we were smart and learned not to carry so much crap. The first time I was trying it with 90 pounds of gear, I only had about 40 or so this time. And I still need to get that pack weight down. I need to buy some lighter gear.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. Did you guys did you guys just go hike and come back to a camp, or did you guys crash on the way?
Well, what it is, we crashed on the way. It's you go park at the trailhead, and then you walk through a loop that takes you out, around, and back to the trailhead. And we were about halfway through it when we camped last night.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was. I as I said, real hikers would sneer at it, but I'm not a real hiker, so I feel a sense of accomplishment.
That just sounds like too much damn work.
That's what I was thinking during it. I can tell you that there were some spots where I'm questioning what kind of idiot decided to come back to this thing. But after I was done, I was happy. I was glad that I got it, that I did it and made it, and it was all good.
Unknown user says the best thing to do is to get a bigger gut to balance out the weight distribution. That way,
Do you watch my videos?
Sounds like a good idea. All right, let's see. We got some guys in the back here. Throw a couple people, toss a couple people out, bring them in to say hello. Gizzard, what's going on?
Hey, not a whole lot. What's up, man?
Oh, same old, same old. How was the show today?
Oh, it's pretty good. We had quite a few people in there. Unfortunately, I had to cut it short by an hour. I hated to because I've still had quite a few people watching, but yeah, it was a pretty decent discussion. So,
You guys were talking about old cars and stuff for a while.
Oh yeah, well, you never know how that discussion is going to go. It just kind of goes wherever it takes itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, user budget's pretty balanced.
Shops at Baby Gap. That's why them clothes are so tight. All right. Who else we got hanging out back here? I'm going to move somebody down. Say hi to Moo. What's going on, buddy? Sorry.
Oh. Yeah.
Calaveras, what's going on? Next on the show.
Man, this show's got all kinds of messed up personalities on it. If we've got a Gizzard and Moo in the back there with me, I didn't realize I had friends in such low places.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like a barnyard back there for sure. Chickens and cows and pickles. Oh my!
Dang it! I gotta leave and come back because I can't hear anybody or Cal.
Oh.
That's too bad. I can still hear snobs. So
Yeah, it's a bummer. That's all right. We'll put Glenn Tech in there until he comes back, and then after he comes back, he can stay in the back because we don't want to.
There you go. That works.
Moose says he's having technical difficulties again.
No, that definitely sounds like a Right of the People show with technical difficulties.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is my show, is it?
Yeah. All right, everybody. What's going on? I have no idea what happened today. I had a super busy day. I was listening to Gary's show a little bit, doing some dishes and whatnot, while the little guy was eating breakfast and watching cartoons. And then we were out of the house, man. We got up and headed to went to the park and then went to grab something to eat and went to watch a movie. And we got home we've only been home about an hour. So I didn't get to listen to anybody's show, and there was a ton of them, man. There was a ton of shows on today. Matt went live. Honda was live. Gun Gals, Unloaded Media. Yankee would have been, but he wasn't. He's on like vacay or something. I think there was somebody else. Foreign and Domestic. Sunday is packed, man. Sunday is packed with stuff. So I don't know. Did I miss anything? Anything cool happening? Saw a lot of. I also saw. I don't know if anybody subscribed to Tim Pool. He put out a bunch of videos today. I didn't really even get to check out, but I've been really watching. I've watched pretty much all of his stuff. He's pretty cool. If it's Timcast, if you don't know. He's got about 500,000 subscribers. It's a pretty big channel. And I like him. He's pretty unbiased. They just started their own. They did a fundraising campaign. I don't know if it was an Indiegogo or a GoFundMe. I don't remember. Indiegogo, I think. And they made a ton of money to start a new channel, to start, paying some people and get them out there doing stories. Subverse. I haven't been thrilled with anything I've seen from them yet, but they're still new, still fresh, so they're going to take a little while to get going, I'm sure. He's a little all over the place as far as his views, which I kind of like. I like the fact that he seems to. Yeah, I like the fact that he seems to really just seems pretty honest about what he believes and what he thinks. Doesn't seem to try and grab a hold of one side or the other too much. So everybody has their biases, but I enjoy listening to him. Auger Mama. Where's a good place to find cheap guns? Bob's Cheap Gun Emporium.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Pawn shops.
Arizona is probably a good place to find old guns, I would imagine, because they probably, with the dryness out there, they probably last forever. I would imagine that rust isn't a big deal,
Yeah, no, you'd be surprised because we do have monsoon season out here, and that lasts usually for like about 3 months. And if you aren't careful, that'll absolutely totally destroy your gun.
Yeah. Never thought of that. Gun-loving grandpa's out there. I don't know if I saw you, if I said hi to you. So what's up, buddy? So what's up? What's the hot topics now? I know what's his name that shot the guy at the convenience store, the carrier, Draka, not Draka, Draka, right?
Yeah, it's
got sentenced, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Manslaughter.
Yeah, Draka.
And he got off lucky as far as I'm concerned.
I
hope he gets hit with every bit of that 30 years that's possible.
That guy down in Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did he get?
Manslaughter up to 30 years. So I think he got off lucky with the manslaughter conviction, and I hope he gets every bit of those 30 years.
Yeah.
Patriot sent me an email about some comments from, I don't think it was his lawyer. I think it was a lawyer. And there was a lot of back and forth as far as, fault. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to sit down and read the whole thing straight through. I've been sort of reading it a little bit, and then, I read, a little bit, and then I get off of it, and I got to do something. I haven't had a chance to sit down and read the whole statement from this guy, this lawyer. Unfortunately, I just didn't get a chance, or I wanted to. It was pretty interesting. They talked a lot about, Drake not being the original physical antagonist. You know what I mean? There's fault all over the place.
He wasn't the original physical antagonist. He didn't start it. However, the guy was turned away from him and retreating after he pulled the firearm. If the guy started retreating, he's no longer an imminent threat. You can't shoot him.
He didn't shoot him in the back, though, did he? No, he was backing up, but I don't think he was turned around. But
no, but the dude was retreating.
Right.
That's not necessarily true, because if it's an imminent threat to yourself or potentially to someone else, you do have the right to be able to use deadly force, especially if they've already
seen that video. There was no reason to shoot the guy at that point.
Okay.
No, I don't think there was.
No, I didn't see it. I'm just, So if he already did something to show that he was a threat to, anybody else there, and they intervened and stopped that threat, then
do you know the story?
Probably justify it. No, I don't. I didn't catch it.
Well, the threat was, as far as I'm concerned, the threat was over. And I think that's what got him in trouble, was the fact that the threat was over. Now, had he shot him, as he was pushing him or something.
Had he shot him about 3 seconds earlier, he wouldn't be in jail.
Right. Yeah. So it's, and it really brought up a lot of conversations with everybody at the time, the difference in somebody's mind of a legal shoot versus a illegal shoot versus a good shoot versus a bad shoot, and
because the big question is the guy who got shot, did he have a weapon?
No.
Okay, so he didn't have a weapon. So so once he disengaged and he tried to back out or he tried to go, that's right there.
Well, the whole story is that the woman that was driving pulled in and parked in a handicap.
I lost my earphones here.
Spot. And
okay, that's the one you're talking about. Yes, I did see that one. Yeah, where the guy fell on the ground, and I did see that one.
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, Michael Draco was the aggressor the whole time.
Yeah, he didn't initiate the physical contact, but he did initiate the argument. He did initiate the dispute, and again, younger, stronger guy pushed him down. Had the guy kept advancing towards him, he would have been justified in shooting. However, he didn't. He produced the firearm. The guy said, "Nope, don't want no part of this." Started backing off, trying to turn away, and he got shot.
Yeah, well, where would we all stand if Maurice McLaughlin had come out and shot the guy that was towering over his girlfriend in the car and yelling?
Was there any physical altercation involved? That's the thing. You can't shoot
Yeah.
somebody just for being an asshole, as much as I would like to sometimes.
No, but again, if as long as you can relatively show that you were in imminent fear of somebody else being injured or possibly killed, which if this bigger guy is towering over this girl, that would definitely be
He's an old
good
man.
possibility he's going to walk away from that one.
He wasn't that old.
justifiable.
He was like mid-50s. He's not that old.
Unless we're talking about Gary, then it's old.
I mean, as I've said before, if I had been the one in the store and my wife had been out there getting yelled at by somebody, and somebody came in and said that there was somebody starting something with my wife, I would have gone out the door, and my hand probably would have been on my gun as I walked out the door, because I don't know what's going on other than somebody's out there starting an altercation with my wife.
And that's one thing, but it would be another to draw down on him just because there's an argument. It would be an entirely different thing to shoot the guy over an argument when there's no physical altercation.
He went out there and he shoved the guy that was.
Oh, I'm not saying I wouldn't have done that if I were him.
He shoved the guy that was threatening his wife.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have done that if I were him.
Yeah,
I think the entire situation was screwed up from the beginning and absolutely unnecessary and didn't need to happen. And Drake had a history of going after people for parking in handicap spots.
Mm-hmm. And he should have taken the punch in the nose that he deserved and gone on his way, but he didn't. He drew his gun and he killed the man.
Exactly. And he should have never done that. He should have
kept his mouth shut in the first place and just went in and got his, pop and his pack of cigarettes and left like a normal person. And said,
should have gotten his polar pop and his roller dogs and not cleared his throat at anybody and gone on his way.
That's right. That's exactly right.
We'll pull the video up here.
He started the altercation.
Yeah, because like I said, I used to watch one of the law enforcement shows, and they went through that video quite extensively, and the majority of the panel on there was saying that just because of the way the guy turned after the guy who pushed the other guy down, and when he drew his gun, it looked like the other guy turned to go back after him, and then realized the guy pulled a gun. And he's like, "Oh shit! By that time it was too late."
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they were saying a lot of the. There's a couple of attorneys on that panel too, and they're like, "Well, it looks like it's going to be a justifiable one there, or real close to it." And apparently the jury saw something different, but I'm sure that's going to get appealed.
Can you guys see my screen? Is it full screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So just so I think I'm surprised you haven't seen it, but I think everybody else has seen it, but we'll watch it here. So basically, this guy's girl. He was in the convenience store, gas station, or whatever. He was parked illegally in like a handicap spot. This dude comes up and starts chewing out the lady for. Sorry, I was getting a text there. For parking there, he gets in her face while she's sitting in the car and he's chewing her out. And somebody comes inside and says, "Hey, there's a guy, yelling at your girlfriend or whatever." And he comes out and pushes the shit out of the guy, and shooting occurs. So that's him walking into the store with his kid. The white car on the left is the car that his girlfriend is sitting in now. And this is Drake bitching at her and, oh, shit. There we go. So he pushes him. 1, 2, 3. There's a couple of seconds there where, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, the guy was literally walking away.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there covering the guy for at least a 1,000, 2,000, and then made the decision to pull the trigger.
I mean, if you look at that, she's out of the car. Can you?
Yeah,
go
he
back?
was turning away from him. Yeah, he was turning away from him.
That is no bueno.
Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
should have totally just been minding his own business, and he wouldn't be in none of this shape.
Number one, yes, absolutely right.
I mean, Snob and I have both covered this. We are both much better person now that we are carrying a firearm on a daily basis than what we were beforehand.
I think a lot of people are.
All right. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a good person now. I'm just saying I'm a better person.
Better than horrible. Yeah. So
But I'm certainly not going to go, make myself the parking lot police. I wasn't going to do that without the firearm. I'm certainly not going to do it if I have the firearm.
No, I mean, I will gripe whenever people park in the loading zone at Lowe's and they go in and they're parked in a little bitty car and go in and get one little bitty thing. And I'm sitting there with a gooseneck trailer waiting to load a huge load of lumber, and some idiot parks in the loading zone. I will gripe about that. And I will be a dick and back my trailer up where they cannot get in their car. I've done that multiple times. Force them to have to wait on me to get loaded and strapped to leave.
There was in the email that Patriot sent me, one of the things I do remember reading this guy saying from the trial was that there was multiple witnesses that testified against Drake's, we'll say, state of mind in general. Talked about owning a gun or having a gun and being, willing to use it, or, you know what I mean? Just like, talk. Yeah. So that was, I think, probably that's probably one of the most damning things other than the video. And I mean, that's such a good video. It's from a good angle. It's clear. It's not choppy. It doesn't it's not, it's good quality video. But, these people's testimony about having heard him or him say in the past about, I'll shoot him or I'll do this, whatever. I don't know what exactly their statements were, but it was, about his willingness to use his gun against people or whatever, or he has threatened people with it, I guess is probably a better way to say it. Because I mean, we all say that we're willing to use our guns too. You know what I mean? And my security holy heck, what's going on here? I do not want to do this right now.
Well, the good news is you have an IT personnel in the room.
Where?
No, my security thing just started doing I do not want to do that now. No. Okay, there we go.
You don't want to scan right now?
No, I do not want to. Yeah, who knows what that'll do to the freaking anything. I don't know. So,
well, it's going to kick half of us out because we're bad influences, and it's a good security software.
Yeah, probably. So there's that.
I don't know. With some of the people you got here, you just might catch something anyway.
You guys bringing in some internet STDs?
Yeah, I've had all my shots.
So everybody once a month. Everybody out in the chat's pretty much, shouldn't have put himself on the spot, shouldn't have put himself on the spot. And I get that. And, one of the things that, some of the lawyers were saying was he shouldn't have put himself in that spot. True. But that doesn't justify him getting pushed or assaulted. You know what I mean? Which I also agree. You know what I mean? It didn't need to be brought to a physical confrontation either. So that's where I think a lot of the back and forth comes with, he was chewing out his girlfriend, but if he'd have came out and said, hey, get the hell out of here, it would have been over too, instead of him pushing him. So,
yeah, but we also don't have audio, so he may have been screaming at the dude, and the dude wasn't backing off either whenever he came out.
Yeah,
and I'm going to say, I don't blame the guy for walking out of the store and shoving the dude, because if somebody was standing over my wife's car screaming at her, he might get decked right in the face.
Yeah.
I would probably do the same.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in for sure. But at the same time, when it all comes down to it, he shoved him. This guy fell over and he he escalated it to a point where now his life, he could die in jail. He's getting I think he'll be 74 when he'll be up for available for parole. I think they said.
Yep.
Mad Sexy's out there. What's up? What's up? I think Jason Stewart means Avatar. He said, I need help with a new aviator. Thinking about a polar pop, a roller dog, high point surrounded by a smiley face. Unknown
A
user.
polar pop, but know what you get at Circle K.
Yep.
That's what I hear.
No, that's what you get from the Eskimo girls.
The gun-toting pacifist says the woman asked him, should I go get my man? And he said if he wants a fight. Just cooler. Yeah, everybody ever hear the phrase the cooler heads prevail? Like,
nope, I am unfamiliar with that phrase.
Yeah, I've never heard it. Explain it to us.
Yeah. it just goes to show you, man, that like just let shit go. It ain't worth it. Home of the Brave thumbed it down. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Hopefully I'll get your negative view in the future.
That's your minus.
Unknown user says, have you heard about the hepatitis A outbreak sweeping the country? I got vaccinated after 2 local fast food workers were found positive. No, I mean, that's something that you hear about. I mean, there's a lot of, as safe as things are nowadays, stuff happens. You know what I mean? You'll get listeria and salmonella outbreaks and hepatitis and stuff like that. Sure as hell feel safer around here than I would be in some of the California cities right now. Jesus. There's some gnarly stuff going on out there. A lot of scary shit, man, with some of the conditions that, with all the homeless and, there was a story, a woman had written to her, man, was it in LA or San Francisco, maybe? She owned a salon or something, for like 15 years. And it was just her telling about her kind of stories over the years and how bad it's gotten, and how her place has been broken into multiple times, and how she'll get there in the morning and always she has to wake up people, homeless people that are sleeping in a doorstep, and apologize to her guests because they're sitting out there, and she's like cleaning up, feces all the time. Like, it's bad. And she was talking about, I feel bad for her, she's trying to run a business, and, and at the same time, she's obviously like not a good person, because, how many people would deal with that for such a long time, and not, not, just constantly be calling the cops and have people hauled away, G's chastising me about my waffle hate. Waffles get love 364 days a year. They don't need their own day. You can let one day to a hot dog sandwich today, Obnoxious one, so midnight is not positive. No, I'm not positive. Mad Sexy says, were your sleeves painful to get? No, not particularly. I mean, when you hit certain spots, like when you get down on the wrists and stuff like that, that gets kind of weird.
That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
And the inner arm.
Yeah, where like that soft tender spot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also have I have one on my collarbone.
Ooh.
And that one was really weird, because that one like is right on the collarbone, and it like vibrated up the side of my head. That was pretty weird. That was odd. I haven't gotten one in a long time. The last one I got took a long time. It was a couple hours for that one. Mad Sexy says, hot dog, not a sandwich.
Was that your Gizzard Gary logo? Did you get that?
Yeah.
I thought he had that on his butt.
Getting the Second Amendment one.
That's between him and me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
I'm
that
gonna get a
Second
chicken.
Amendment one on the inside of my arm,
Mm-hmm.
on the inside of my forearm. That took 3.5 hours, and it felt like it was about 3.5 days.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the tough thing about when you do like the inside of the elbows is,
The
this
ditch.
one's, I have this one kind of on the inside of the elbow, is because the skin's not, it's like soft, it's soft tissue, and the skin is like not super, no matter how tight they try and, make the skin when they're doing it, it feels like it's like shredding your skin. It like feels like it's tearing into your, and that sucks. That sucks. Bloke says, yeah, that one hurt me too. He's talking about his collarbone, I guess. John Brown, how you doing, John? He says there was an LEO who said the guy had the right. Excuse me. The guy had the right to push the guy. I don't know. I mean, that would be an interesting. See, I guess what's tough is we're sort of most people with this incident are sort of passing over that part and getting to the part where and focusing more on the part where the shot was fired and whether the shot should have been fired or not. I don't know. I mean, I can't say either way whether the guy's justified in using physical force to get the guy. I don't, and it's hard to tell too. I don't think the guy was actually yelling had his head in the window yelling at the lady when he was pushed. I think the guy had stood up.
They were, she had gotten out of the car,
confronting each other, right?
Yeah, they were actually, because the video that we saw that was actually about 10, 15 seconds prior to what was actually shown there, and they were actually face to face. Okay.
Yeah.
There was no justification for that guy to go up there and shove him or push him in any way, shape, or form. None whatsoever. He initiated the assault, and that's where they were saying originally that he would have been justified because the guy was much bigger than he was to defend himself with the use of his firearm.
See, I'm of the old school frame of if you're yelling at a woman and you come out and you're yelling at my wife and I come out and I hit you in the face, I'm perfectly justified. So screw yourself is kind of how I feel about it for that poor guy.
Yeah, well, you're talking Florida now, so
legally speaking,
exactly.
But I said that's what
back
would
in
happen.
back in the day,
right. Jorge says, talk about people fighting over Popeye's chicken sandwich. YouTube has gone crazy. I don't know what's up with that. I must have missed that today.
I've never been that impressed with Popeyes to want to get in a fight over that. I mean, if it was Chick-fil-A, it'd be different.
Well, I love Popeyes, man.
That's what I was going to say. There's a whole I saw on Instagram, there's a whole bunch of Instagram posts about which, vote which would you like better is Chick-fil-A or Popeyes. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Yeah. So, okay, we talked about that. I don't know. It's a hard one to have a hard stance on. Legally. I'm not talking about emotionally or what you think is right or wrong, but legally, when you legally look at it, that's tough.
Are we talking about the chicken sandwich legally or the dude that
yes.
got legally? Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, the chicken
I got confused there.
Mm-hmm. Chick-fil-A is better. I haven't had a regular Chick-fil-A sandwich in a long time. The last time I had a Chick-fil-A sandwich, I got the spicy one, and it was ridiculously hot, ridiculously spicy. I was like, I didn't really like it. And I don't think I've ever had a Popeye's chicken sandwich. I'll have to seek one out maybe.
Never had the sandwich.
Popeye's new chicken sandwich has been selling out before 11 a.m. Says Jorge. Says George. George. Hey, George. Well, I'll have to try and snag one. I'll have to seek out a Popeyes. What the heck? I'm getting all sorts
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Restart and update to stay in support. Well, I don't want to do that now. We'll do that later. Thanks. Leave me alone. All sorts of stuff's popping up here. I'm starting to get a little nervous. My computer's going to start going wonky. What's that?
Must have a Vars.
Yeah. What? No birch beer? Yep, I got a birch beer in the cooler. I'll bust it out here in a little bit. Blue Steel says that's not true. If a man is yelling at you like a baby, you slap him in the mouth. Do you guys people have been fighting fighting over the sandwich, like literally fighting in Popeyes? Oh, I can imagine. That's it's yeah, if people are going at bananas over it, and I'm sure it's probably pretty crazy in there. I've watched a lot of fast food fight videos laying in bed at night.
Sandwich, man. Not a cabbage patch kid. What the hell?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Mad Texas says Popeye sucks. We had Popeyes. I've had Popeyes once or twice, but it's not the sandwich. So, this thing with Crenshaw and Piker, Cenk Uyghur's nephew from the Young Turks. Have you guys seen this stuff?
No.
No? Okay. Well, chunk yogurt. Yeah. That's the first is CENK, and it's pronounced Jank. I was like, that looks more like Sank to me. And then I have a lot of people I've heard they call him Chunk. So Piker is is Chank's nephew, one of the Young Turks, who are pretty bombastic, I guess you could call it, very loud and opinionated, and very on the liberal side. So he goes live on, I think it was Twitter. I guess it was Twitter, and starts watching and commenting on Crenshaw's appearance on Rogan, which his appearance on Rogan, from what I remember, was pretty okay. Other than, again, like the red flag things, the TAPS Act. There's a lot left wanting, if they ever, as far as I'm concerned, if they ever do something like that. I think it's too vague. It's too easily manipulated and too easily abused. But so he starts talking about Crenshaw, and he lays out some just gnarly stuff, where he's talking about how he lost his eye. He's like, how did he lose his eye? He was, what happened? Oh, I remember. And he goes, a brave Mujahideen soldier took his eye out and effed him in the eye, and skull effed him. I mean, not effed, but like the full bore. Really went after him. He talked about how because we as the United States funded the Afghanis with weapons, and I don't know how much money that went to it too, but I know for sure the Afghanis, we funded, armed them to fight the Soviets. And because we did stuff like that, we got what was coming to us with 9/11.
Sounds like somebody needs a good drone strike.
Yeah. Basically said that we deserve 9/11. Now, I will say this.
Small low-yield nuclear weapon right on their front porch.
Yeah. Turn it into a parking lot. I will say this. A lot of people are taking that one thing that we deserve 9/11 and just saying that he said that. And obviously he said more than that. So, I mean, I'll try and be unbiased and, as fair as possible. And he's saying,
sure as shit
because of,
like he is.
Right. Because of what we did, it happened. And the way he said it is about the worst possible way you could say it, and using the words like, "Oh, we deserved it." And a lot of people don't know that, though, too. That's something that I remember. If you remember that movie, Charlie Wilson's War, I think it was Tom Hanks played Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson was a senator from, was he from Texas, I think?
Charlie Wilson's War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was a senator from Texas. They used to call him like Good Time Charlie or something like that. He was just known for being like a party guy, party boy, and, late night, drinking and partying with women and stuff. And he really, really pushed hard to help arm the Afghanis to fight the Soviets. With the whole theme of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I could definitely, the old slogan. Well, the enemy of my enemy is definitely not my friend in every sense, every time. So he pushed through and we armed the Afghanis. So that's where it all starts. Sorry, I'm trying to read some stuff while I'm talking. I know I can't do that. I should not do that. I've been trying not to do that forever, but because it always slows me down. So, just something to look out for. It's been on Instagram a lot of videos on it. And it's kind of funny because last week I was talking about Crenshaw and how everybody's turned on him and making fun of him and doing all these memes and making fun of his eye and calling him a pirate and all this stuff, and how I didn't think it made us look good, and I didn't think it was gonna make him change his mind on red flag laws and stuff, and bam, this pops up. Like, it was like 2 days after my show. I was like, oh, look at that! Isn't that funny? Isn't that amazing? So I just wanted to bring that up and see if you guys had seen it. It's pretty bad. You should definitely look it up. He seems like a really arrogant, snotty asshole too. Like, he just, I don't know. Doesn't seem like a cool cat.
Well, my wife just informed me that Sheriff Joe's going to be running for sheriff again here in Maricopa County next year.
Joe
Arpaio.
Who's that?
Sheriff Joe Arpaio. You never heard of Sheriff Joe? Oh.
Tent City Jail.
Tent City Jail.
Pink underwear, bologna sandwiches.
Yep.
Is that the black guy?
No.
I'm thinking of the.
He's
Well, you're thinking of the one from Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's what do you mean? Clark. Sheriff Joe Clark.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Clark. Yeah.
No. Just Google Joe Arpaio. He's good friends with Trump. They are actually expecting when he lost the election last year, that he was going to be on. Trump was going to put him on in a cabinet position. They were like, everybody's like, he's guaranteed, but he turned it down.
Was this guy the guy that did the YouTube, like the video with the mayor and stuff, and a whole bunch of his guys in gear, and he was holding an AR and stuff, and it was basically like daring the gangs and stuff to test him, basically? Is that guy? Yeah, G-Web says Sheriff Joe is an old man now. That must be a different guy too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Sheriff Joe is 76, 77. He's up there.
Well, I have no idea who he is in. So I thought he was two different guys. Third, three strikes and I'm out.
Yeah, like I say, he don't put up with no shit though. That's one thing with Joe. It's like, this is the way it is, and this is the way it's going to be, and if you don't like it, TFB.
G-Web says, makes him wear pink underwear, live in tents outside in the heat. Makes him work all day.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the one that said it's good enough for our military. It's good enough for his prisoners.
Yeah. I do remember that. So I've heard of him. I just got him mixed up with a couple other people. And where's he at?
Arizona, Maricopa County, Phoenix area. Yep.
Interesting. Bass Boy saying not Joe Clark, David Clark. Boob sweats out there. What's going on? Okay. I saw a really interesting clip the other day that I've never seen before, and it was from when Katrina was going on, and they were doing the gun confiscations. You know, they showed a press conference with the chief of police or whatever, and they were talking about, you know, citizens must disarm, and because they were evacuating. You know, it's a must evacuate. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People, they were going door to door telling people to get out, telling people to evacuate, and they were taking people to get to you know, bust them out or whatever. And this reporter, and I guess that was the National Guard, and it was really kind of like I don't know, say chilling, but it was really kind of you gave you goosebumps a little bit. This reporter walked up to this really young kid, you know, probably, you know, 19, 20 or whatever, and they were walking down the street, and this reporter, you know, grabbed him, I guess, and started talking to him, and the reporter, you know, with a voiceover, had said, "Oh, this young man, or this soldier, or this reservist." I think they probably said reservist. I think they were in the reserves or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure, unfortunately. He said he would rather be in Afghanistan right now, and I was like, "Well, okay, let's watch this." And he said they said or rather be in the Middle East. I'd written a couple of notes down. They said, why would you say that? And he said he was worried. He said, well, I'm worried about what would happen if somebody pops out on us. And the reporter said, you hope you don't have to. You hope you wouldn't have to fire on an American or an American citizen. And he just said, yeah, I that would be horrible, or that yeah, I would hate that, or that would be horrible. But just the idea of that really kind of like, it was a little bit of a slap in the face, you know, a little, you know, just it's the idea that they were confiscating guns, and that it was going through people's heads that were confiscating guns door to door and evacuating people, or forced evacuating people, that it was really even going through their heads like they might quote unquote have to shoot American citizens. So I don't know. You know, thoughts on that? Other than, yeah, that's crazy and that sucks. I had never actually seen any live videos of that happening. You know, I don't remember seeking it out years ago. Obviously, way up here, didn't affect us a whole lot. And then when you're young, you don't really think about that kind of stuff. You know, gun confiscations and all that kind of stuff, and the public being disarmed, and you know, and even when that happened, I don't remember what year that was. Even if you do hear that when you're young, you probably don't really understand the ramifications or how scary or horrible that is.
I didn't hear about the guardsman saying that he didn't want to do this. Good for him, you know.
Yeah.
But, I remember seeing the footage of those dudes roughing up that elderly lady to get her little pea shooter. And I thought that was just the most disgusting thing I ever saw.
I've heard about that, but I don't know much about it. What's the lowdown?
You never saw that one?
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, that was bad. They roughed that lady up. They pretty much beat the brakes off her to get her pistol from her. Let me see if I can find that on the YouTubes, and I'll put a link in the private chat.
Yeah, there you go. So it was. Go ahead.
Back when I guess it was when Obama was first in the process of taking over. I know retired military because I actually sold a questionnaire. If you were retired from the military, you had a questionnaire before your discharge, and there was about 15 or 20 questions in there on if you were ordered to confiscate guns from American citizens, would you do it? If you had to engage an American citizen, would you shoot them? You know, it was like I said, it was like 15, 20 questions.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And I can only imagine what these guys were told and what these guys, were briefed on. I mean, what do you?
I guess after they did the questionnaire, they found that I guess statistic wise, it was like 98.7% of the ones that were like discharging would not have anything to do with that, and they would actually defend the United States citizens and turn on the government. They were like, "Oh no, can't have that."
Yeah. George says, I saw a video on YouTube that it happened in Canada. A storm hit a small town, and law enforcement was confiscating guns many years ago. Why the hell would that matter? Something horrible happens like that. And something horrible happens like that. It's when you need to defend yourself the most.
Yep, they throw in that martial law. The martial law. That's it. So we take everything.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's Wolf has this stupid state of emergency for opioids. So that state of emergency screws with the ability to carry. You normally,
as I say, I'm from there. How does that do that? That's kind of
weird.
Yeah,
it's stupid. I think what it does is it nullifies our ability to carry open without a permit. I think. Normally, Pennsylvania, you can open carry without a permit. You can't conceal carry, but you also can't. Even normally, you can open carry without a permit, but you can't travel in a vehicle with it, unless you're going to a range or home or work or a gun shop or something. So it's kind of weird. They put that in there to really stifle your ability to open carry without a permit. So
I was going to say, yeah, because it always was you could the only way you could open carry, well, you could open carry all the time, but primarily it was hunting, where you didn't need a permit. But any other time, even the open carry, you still had to have a permit.
Yeah, so you're allowed to open without a permit, except for right now because there's a state of emergency.
Yeah, well,
he enacted a state of emergency because of the opioid crisis to get funds to try and deal with it or whatever. But he's also not a gun guy, so I'm sure he didn't really give a shit if that affected anybody or not.
I remember the other one was when Philadelphia enacted their, we're a class 1 in the city, so you can't carry, permit or not, you can't carry your gun in the city. Right. And if you were law enforcement, you had to go to the nearest precinct wherever you were going to be, and basically you had to report in and tell them that yes, you were here, you were in this area, this is what you were going to be doing, and give him your ID and everything else, and tell him yes, I have my gun. We're like, no, that's like a violation of the state constitution. You can't do that. It took a little while, but they finally got it overturned.
Budget. I see that. Is that the link here I'm looking for?
Yeah, that's the link. That's a 7.5 minute or 7 minute and 50-second video. So I'm not sure where in that is that old lady, but it's definitely footage of the door-to-door confiscations happening in during the Katrina catastrophe.
All right, I threw it in the chat there for everybody if you want to take a look at it. Then, all right. So, yeah, we were talking about open carry. Yeah, getting screwed up. Open carry getting screwed up for sure.
I have something interesting on that note.
I doubt it, but okay, go ahead.
Well, in my community tab, I posted a link to the video, but Don Spencer, who is like the guy with Oklahoma 2A that does all the stuff, I interviewed him on my channel once, but he spends every day in the Capitol if they're in session just fighting for us.
Listen to this guy in my community tab because I'm a big YouTuber.
Yeah,
oh, you'll have one.
I'm a big shot. I got a community tab. And you don't.
And he's monetized.
Anyway, before Obnoxious so rudely interrupted me, he puts on a hidden camera and goes to the Oklahoma City Zoo where Bloomberg's moms are hanging out trying to get people to sign the petition to void our concealed carry for a year, or our constitutional carry, for a year. So he goes there and they are just flat out just making up stuff, talking points, trying to convince him. They don't know who he is apparently, but trying to convince him of why it's a bad thing to have open carry. And one of them is, well, this allows carry on every college campus. Just everybody can carry there, which unfortunately it doesn't allow that. It'd be even better if it did, but so they're just trying.
Is this the video at the zoo? Is this the video at the zoo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched that. I was sort of listening to it while I was helping get little guy to bed. So I was kind of listening, but not enough to really see what they how they screwed it up. But yeah, they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. It seems like they were, definitely were just pushing an agenda without really educating. They didn't even know what they were doing.
You would at least know who your enemy is.
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, he is the face of OK2A. He's the main one there and does everything with it. He pushed this. He was on the news with the governor when he signed it. So how is this, how do they not know who he is if they're really trying to do something?
No, they're just people out there working a table.
They're just there for $10 an hour. That's what they're there for.
The biggest thing is
they're the anti-chill.
Yeah. Tosh had a joke about this years ago where, people would set up at Whole Foods and try and get you to sign petitions and not, the joke was like, oh, what's this for? Or he'd walk up. He was walking up behind an old lady and, she was like, oh, okay, I'll sign it. He's like, tell her what it is. Tell her what it is, because they just saw her as an easy target. And they're like, it was some, I forget what it was, what his joke was about, but what the petition was for or whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty true. The same thing happened up there in Washington with Yankee. Like they were just spouting off all sorts of misinformation and, they shove a piece of paper in your face like, hey, do you want to help cut back, gun deaths, murders? Yeah, okay, you sign it and you just walk away. You don't even know what the hell it is. How many of us sign shit every day or approve stuff every day and we don't read it, People with a couple of kids in their arms and they're like, you want to keep kids safe? Sure, okay. Sign your name to it and you walk away. It's a scam.
Yeah. And some people were posting in the OK2A group today that apparently in church today, several different churches around Oklahoma, it was all Catholic churches, whatever that matters, but I guess they had a big meeting with all these priests for all these churches to push this. So they pushed their agenda today of getting people to sign these in their church services today. I was like, really?
Mm. Yeah. Jeez. Oh, Gizzard down there in the chat says, is Arizona is actually 2A spelled backwards? That's pretty close. That's why G
What I'm
lives
saying, man.
there. Yeah, that's why G lives there.
That's right.
Boob Sweat says, I got to hop out of the chat, put my phone on a charger, but will continue to watch my PS4. Showing off. Look at me. I got a PS4. Psh, this guy.
And here I am still playing on a PlayStation 1.
Yeah. Pork and Services, why
I've
would you
got
ever sign something without knowing what it is? That's just moronic. Yeah, I mean it is, but I mean even in that video, the guy asked them for the bill, and they pulled it out and gave it to him, and it was front and back, 15 pages. What the hell, man? Like nobody's gonna read that on the fly. You know, it's impossible. So, you know, what do? You ask them about it. You ask them what the bill is for. They give you, they should be educated enough to give you a rundown.
Well, then they handed him a piece of paper that was just the bullet points of the bill. So it was
right
a half a page, so they could read that and they could put whatever they want on that.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. Like, of course they're going to spin it to their way and say, well, it's going to allow this and it's not going to allow this, and that's going to make everybody safer. And there you go. You know, it's a bummer. It's crazy. It's a shame. One of the things that I titled the show today was self-fulfilling prophecies too. Two really big ones, and as far as I'm concerned, in the news today or these days, is self-fulfilling prophecies. Or we talked about red flag laws and the recession. You know, check the 3-minute mark.
I was going to say
the video you put. Okay.
But what recession?
Well, that's the thing. What happened about a week or two ago? I started hearing about it. That one of the signs that has happened the past like 10 recessions is that short-term bonds are foretold to be worth more than long-term bonds, or whatever it is. It's 5 years versus 20 years or something.
Yep. And
so they said,
go ahead. Sorry.
So they said every time that's ever happened, it's been followed by a recession. So that hits the news. Everybody starts talking about it for a week or two. Then it gets bigger. Then they start bringing all these other, everybody starts talking about it. And next thing you know, in the way I look at it is you've just started a self-fulfilling prophecy, or you could have. Whereas, everybody says there's going to be a recession, so everybody stops spending money like there's going to be a recession, and then you get a recession.
And that's done by the Democrats intentionally, so we can try to bring this down, so it can make Trump look bad for his 2020.
What?
Because every single solitary economist has said the same thing. That the reason why, number one, this is because it's August. So anybody that does anything with money is on a beach. And number two, we got the tariffs going with China right now. And that's 99% of the problem. And what the issue is because of the tariffs with China.
Something else too that was, and this was, I believe this was I forget where I heard this one first, but I know Tim Pool talked about it, was Bill Maher. And he actually said on one of his shows recently, like this last week, basically welcomed a recession, and he said, "Oh, if that's what's going to get Trump out of the White House, bring it on."
Exactly, and that was the start of it right there.
Horrible thing to say. Like, you dislike this dude enough that you're willing to see the whole country suffer.
And it isn't just him. It isn't just him. It's
Right.
every single solitary Dem out there in the world
Yeah.
right now that is sitting there going, yeah, well, that's the only way we're going to get him out of here is if the world comes to an end and comes to a crashing end. Other than that,
Yeah.
he's in and he's going to be there.
Yeah, and
Unless, of course, he signs gun control, then he's going to be out.
It's yeah. Well, he's backed off a lot. He's definitely trying to make amends. With
Well, yeah,
some of
he
the stuff
has
he's done.
because he knows that one of the reasons why he got in and he had such a backing was because of his pro 2A.
Yeah,
And he's barking up the wrong tree here.
yeah. So yeah, I just thought that was of Bill Maher and whoever else out there saying it. It's super petty, and it's a shame. I think it's wrong. I think if you're willing to put your hatred of somebody that's, I mean, I guess in his mind and their minds, he's doing such a horrible job that they'll take any way, shape, or form to get him out of the office. And if that's what's going to do it, that's what's going to do it. But
Well,
I think it's petty.
And the problem of it is, it's not just the hatred of him; it's the hatred of this country altogether.
Mm-hmm.
You look at what they want to do, and they just want to turn it into a communist, socialist regime where they have all the power and they can do whatever they want whenever they want. So that's not hatred of one person. The only reason why they hate him so much is because he doesn't put up with it. And he gives it right back to him.
Right.
So,
and I will say this: I think one of the best things about one of the greatest things about the U.S. is the fact that if you feel something is wrong, you can put effort into trying to change it and trying to better things in your mind. I get that. I understand that. But I think the tides are scary, man. Tides are scary with some of the changes that want to be made. I never felt more like a conservative than I do now. I never felt very much like a conservative until recently, and then I really started thinking about what the word conservative means. Like, what does the word conservative mean to you? Do you want to, does it mean you want to conserve, but do you want to what do you want to conserve? And as of recently, I'm looking at it and thinking about it. I'm like, you want to conserve your rights. You want to conserve your ability to be free. So, and second too, going on talking about the red flag laws, self-fulfilling prophecies. Somebody is not a danger. Somebody's no inkling of committing a crime, hurting themselves, hurting somebody else. Somebody calls them up, calls the cops up, calls out a red flag, sends the cops over there, and then something bad happens. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, this guy, we think this guy's going to hurt somebody, where he really wasn't. Now, next thing you know, you got cops banging on the door, trying to lock him up, and something bad happens, and he hurts somebody.
Again, here, case in point. You can sit here and you can do the same thing. Okay, when Snob made his comment earlier about the guy deserved to get punched in the face. Oh, whoa, hang on a second, let me make a phone call, because guess what? Now you have a red flag, and now you're screwed. Even though it was anonymous.
Right. Well, it's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing I was talking about earlier, as far as wanting, being willing to use your guns and threatening to use your guns are two very different things. But it doesn't matter if they're two very different things if somebody sees them the same and calls a red flag on you, quote unquote. Right.
Yep. And then we have.
If I say I'm willing, right. If I say I'm willing to use a firearm to defend my family and my home and and loved ones, and somebody else hears that and they're like, that's crazy. Like, this is just this is too much. I got to call somebody about this. Next thing you know.
It's funny you bring that up. we're there in Ohio here at our State House steps in Columbus. On the 7th, we're going to have a rally. It's the Americans Against Red Flag Laws, and I'm speaking there. And part of my speech is bringing up this very thing of how these red flag laws can take something you say, as while exercising your First Amendment, and it could be used to destroy your Second Amendment rights. I mean, how many of us here, as a matter of fact, the example I give is, how many of us have said shall not be infringed? How many of us have said will not comply? How many of us have said come and take it? If you don't believe there's somebody out there who won't see that as a threat, you're nuts.
Right.
Well, like I said, never again. And then you have this thing with Cuomo, making the open threats, throwing the guy down the steps and everybody and everything else. And right there is an automatic red flag because he went off the hinge for absolutely no reason whatsoever because he was called Fredo. Well, now
I use that
yeah. But the thing is, it's getting turned on them now because they're screaming red flag laws. It's like, okay, well, here you go. Let's issue a red flag law against this guy because, contrary to popular belief, he has quite a few firearms. So why isn't it being enforced on the left like you want to do on the right? Oh, that's because he's special. No, he's not. He needs to, this needs to get flagged too. And they're pushing the issue on, okay, well, why isn't this getting flagged? Yeah. Why isn't his guns being taken?
And on that note, I'm going to bounce. I'm awful doggone tired tonight, and I'm out. So,
all right, homie.
All right, thanks for stopping. Have a good night, man.
Yep. You guys have a good one. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Same
Thanks,
here.
buddy.
I'm on my way out, so thanks for the invite.
No problem.
You guys aren't allowed to leave. You got to stay here.
I got Armament out here. Armament, what's going on, buddy? And G, I'm going to add you just because you're the
No,
only
I was busy sending Steve a link.
Hey, sleeping.
No, I wasn't sleeping. I was texting Steve about the thing in Ohio. So yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Blink, blink, blink. We're all treated fairly. Blink, blink, blink.
Yeah.
Blink. We're all given good meals. Blink, blink.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happens in the green area.
You can tell G's from Arizona. He's got that Arizona blink going.
So you got the pink underwear on.
You got the pink underwear going.
Pink tighty whities.
Oh, don't forget the handcuffs too.
Oh
yeah. All the officers out in Maricopa have at least one pair of pink handcuffs. Yep.
That's
demoralizing. You can't do that.
Well, to me, when I grew up, I'm some of you guys are about my point being is this. When I grew up, going to jail was kind of like that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, well, you look back and this guy's been in jail. Things got more complicated and more laws got made. And, well, this guy did this and, oh, you went to jail for that. But I see, and this is so weird. I've seen it with the generation of my children that these kids don't understand that going to jail isn't a badge of honor. It's a badge of shame. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, no, not anymore, because anymore it's which I just noticed the other day on an application. Yeah, you can be a convicted felon, but if you haven't been in trouble with the law for over 5 years, you don't even have to bother putting it on your application anymore that you've been a convicted felon, because they only go back 5 years.
I think you should have to put it on there, but the fact that you have been a good boy or girl for 5 years and you mended your ways. And look, I have many of my friends in law enforcement. I have two people that were actually three: chief of police, and sheriff, which is still a sheriff in the county just north of me. Good friend of mine. And honestly, my son got in trouble. I think it was a DUI. Something happened. This has been 10, 15 years ago. I had to go pick him up in the jail, and I saw my buddy, who is the sheriff. It's like, hey, he's like, what are you doing here? Pick up my kid. He says, you know something? Everybody makes mistakes. This is the thing. We all make mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Are you going to do it again? See what I'm saying? See where I'm coming from? And there's so much of that the social, the justice system and the way it's just they just like, oh well, oh, you're all right. Everybody gets a trophy. You know where I'm coming from. It's gotten to the point that, something, going to jail should be a bad thing. And you shouldn't have cable TV and, well, you got to live in a cell for this. That's the problem. It's like people in jail bitch like they needed a union or something. You know what I mean? Like, well, we deserve a cable TV, and are you really? No, you broke the law.
Yeah,
This
tell
is
me about it.
jail.
I work in two different prisons. You can't wear black rubber gloves because that's offensive.
What?
Yeah, you can't wear black rubber gloves. They have to be blue or clear. You can't wear black.
Oh my! Oh. Is black rubber gloves racist? Is that?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Black
They had somebody cry because black rubber gloves are racist on white people. So they were racist. So
they're
yeah.
not as good either because you can't.
Okay, wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute.
So they're ineffective for triage, and they're ineffective for determining what's going on with a casualty. So they're only cool looking. There's nothing good about black gloves when you're trying to do first aid.
But again, we're not using those. Aren't being used for first aid? That's in a prison setting that had nothing to do with first aid.
So if you're just talking, they just look good, and often they're just an indication of whatever mill they are. They make the blue ones this thickness, the black ones this thickness, the white ones this thickness.
And does it matter that what? Oh my God. People all getting, oh, that's racist over the gloves that you put on. Hey, something? This is the one my company supplied me. I put them on to, make sure that I was sterile. And what? And you're going to say I'm racist? Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Plot thickens. Stupid. And, hearing all this, I just want to pick up my gunsmith hammer and hit myself in the head about 3 times to get as dumb as these people that are complaining about this. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, really? Is this the color of the surgical gloves that important to you? Is it? You might want to reconsider your freaking life. What? Oh
no, but that just gives us something to gripe about.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you're complaining about something that means nothing. You're making something out of nothing.
Dude, you're talking about people in prison. What are they going to do?
Oh, they have nothing to do but make prison shanks and,
Shanks, like veal shanks and lamb shanks? It's delicious.
Yeah.
I got a question. I saw a headline that Trump declared Antifa a terrorist organization. Is that true, or was that just like clickbait?
I heard that, and I hope he did. Really? Did you see the local video or the latest? Not local. Sorry, latest video of the Antifa thing and people getting on the bus and the guy throwing the hammer and trying to hit him with a hammer and.
We actually watched. I think watched some of that last week. There was also too one of the things that happened up there that was on film. Not film. That was videotaped. Was did you see the guy open up the little? It almost looked like a pistol case. Like a black pistol case. It had the chunk of concrete in it. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't see that. I'm trying to read G's thing in the side chat here. No, I didn't see that. So what happened?
So it was a bi-level street, I guess you could call it, where there was the street and then below it was like a walkway that was like maybe 5 or 6 feet lower, and there was people down there. And this guy was videotaping, and a dude walked in front of him and put down this 12 by 10 looked like a pistol case or something. Open it up, and it had a big chunk of concrete in it. And he took it out and he broke it on the ground. He started slamming it on the ground so that it would break up into chunks, and then he started winging it into the crowd. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell? Like,
You know, that's interesting because, you know, in my younger days in martial arts, which I don't even want to try and break concrete blocks now. I'm pretty sure my hand would break. But back in the day, I broke 1-inch concrete blocks like nothing. But they would, yeah, if you busted them up. But the point that this guy just decides he's going to take out this block and set it up and break it up and then throw chunks, I'm like, okay. You didn't break them up first. You wanted to prove to yourself that you could break them with your hand and then pick them up and chuck them at people. What are these people thinking?
yeah.
Oh wow, that's just.
Ape, what did you just put in there? How Norway dealt with Antifa. There you go.
Oh, I gotta look
check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'll check that out later. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch.
Now, in answer to your question, Trump is considering declaring Antifa a terrorist organization.
He's been saying that forever, though. That's why it was weird when I saw the headline that he actually did it. Must have been clickbait.
Yeah, it was, because I'm sitting here Googling it, and last thing that they said about it was back in July. Other than a couple of comments that he made the last couple of weeks, but other than that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up myself.
Back in 2017, both the FBI and DHS both declared Antifa a domestic terrorist organization. That's been since 2017.
The funny thing I find is they show up to these events and they don't get arrested, and they do things that would be considered terrorist against other people, and they don't get arrested. The problem is, well, what I was going to say, the problem as I see is, if it was us on our side of the fence doing what they did, we'd all be in jail.
Yeah, and it's good.
Go ahead. I said, then you have Newsweek here. Trump wants to declare Antifa a terrorist organization, even though right-wing extremists have been more violent. Really?
Yeah.
I've hit the CIA.
What?
Yeah.
No, we have not. What?
Yeah.
What? No, we're the people going, we want peace, but we know how to keep peace. It's don't start no shit, and we're armed. But you're the people that want, and these are the anarchists and the people that think that if they start anarchy, that they're going to be the survivors. They don't understand it's going to be us people that go, nah, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be the survivors.
Yeah, that's Newsweek's. That's Newsweek's the 25th.
Yeah,
Sunday the 25th. Today's Newsweek headline: Trump wants to declare Antifa a terrorist organization, even though right-wing extremists have been more violent.
Bullshit.
Where?
Yeah, where?
And the funny part about it is we were talking about this a little while ago with a bunch of us. We were down when we were shooting steel this morning. Notice Antifa doesn't show up to well, I have an idea. Why don't you go to Arizona when they have one of their rallies down there and pull your shit in Arizona and see what happens? Well, why? Because you're going to get capped. That's why. They aren't going to put up with it. You're going to do something stupid like that, you're going to wind up getting shot. So we go to these other places that are gun-free zones, so you can, be a domestic terrorist.
John Brown Gun Club did a march in Phoenix. Matt had him on the show after that.
What's that?
John Brown Gun Club, which is our version of Antifa, did the thing in Phoenix, and Matt had him on his show live. That was last year, maybe around this time.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember. I should go back and try and watch that again. It's quite a while ago. I don't really remember much about the show.
Hey, Glim, you're in Ohio too?
No, I'm in Arizona. I'm just north of G-Web.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you shot with budget. You traveled to area. Where'd you guys meet to shoot together? I just curious.
No. I was shooting steel this morning. We run steel matches on second and fourth Sunday of the month.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you say you were shooting with budget, but
No.
okay.
He's the other other end of the country next
Yeah.
next to Port Closer here.
I'm like maybe 50 miles closer than he is to you then.
I'm originally from Pennsylvania.
Oh, what
so
part?
Northeast of Philly.
Oh, okay.
If you know where Reading is.
Yes, I do.
Cool.
I should say actually northwest of Philly is what it actually technically is, I guess.
Yeah, I just I don't know. As a person that kind of likes order, I guess, and I'm not a violent person. I really have a hard time understanding how so many people can gather and cause violence, and cause injury, hurt people and have it just sort of turn the other cheek, and you hear about, the police officers and, even chiefs of police and stuff say like, well, we're told by the mayor's office, or we're told by this person that we're not to get involved and we're just supposed to stand back. And I don't get it. I just
Welcome to Portland.
Right. I don't like the fact that there's people willing to be violent and injure other people and assault them, and those people are just left or are allowed to just be left, just go about their business and all right, move along. And it's like, no, man, he just beat the shit out of somebody. Like, that needs to be addressed. It needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, we try and live by the be good but carry a big stick kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But what you're saying is, I'm going to throw a perfect example. The LA riots. Reginald Denny gets pulled out of his truck.
Horrible. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, this guy's just like, I'm a truck driver, and what? I'm getting pulled out of my truck, and they're banging me in the head with my fire extinguisher. I'm like,
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget watching that.
To just think of that, because the thing that started the whole thing was a bunch of cops pulling Rodney out of his car and kicking the fucking shit out of him with badges. And then what else? There's got the helicopters above, giving everybody an idea of where the thing is. Literally orchestrated.
Yeah.
He's 20. Yeah. You also don't want to let them that as they're watching, what's his name, Ronald, get his ass kicked out of that truck by a bunch of anonymous fuckers. Somebody came running out of his house, stopped him, put him in his car, and took him to the hospital amongst all that bullshit. Mm-hmm. So the same people that were, you could say, are, the people that formulated, or the mob was formulated from, are the same people that got fucking guys asked to help, to aid amongst all that shit.
But something, this is the problem that I see, and I agree, G. I seen it. I seen the footage, and we heard that he might have been on this drug or that drug. Doesn't matter. I seen the footage. Now the problem is the mentality of the people when it comes to rioting, pulling Reginald Denny out of it. And I get it. People were upset, but it's just like people that riot because their team won or their team lost. And the riot mentality, and it's like, our team won, let's celebrate and burn the town down and flip cars. I'm like,
I don't think. I mean, I get what you're saying, but you can't compare the two.
What I'm saying
the result is a unempathetic harvest of exploitation by the media. That's the only thing they have in common. Other than the result of
nailing it. Yes.
Yeah. The LA riot was a
racial bullshit. Exactly. That was a completely not had anything to do with fucking it's something as insignificant as a team and is
media bread. Yep.
Well, the morals of the people that would destroy property based on the excuse of a team or something. That's different. That's loose morals. But when you're talking stressing a community out, literally to the point of, the lit match was fucking what's his face getting his ass kicked by the cops.
Rodney King.
Not just like, it was Rodney getting his ass kicked. It wasn't just like, hey, it's Thursday and we saw this guy get his ass kicked by the cops. We decided that's a bad thing. Let's riot because, our team didn't win today. It was way more than that.
Yeah, it was a culmination of a lot of things, but you're right.
Yeah, well, there was so much stress between Korean and Black communities already, and when it kicked off, and then like G said,
No. I mean, yes, there was animosity between Koreans and Blacks, but from my research, the riots both riots in L.A., Watts and L.A. '94 were cops versus the people in the poor parts of the city, no matter what race they were, but often, just ineffectual, if not belligerent, like poor police work, putting people into places where they were abrasive instead of useful. And they created a massive tension between cops and the neighborhood. I don't think the neighborhood tension was substantive. It wasn't the cause.
But that was also spurred by certain individuals in the neighborhood as well.
I will say this, that the Korean neighborhoods businesses didn't get robbed much because they were all on the roofs with their guns. You remember that? A lot of the Korean businesses on the roofs with their guns, and the rioters left them alone. I'm just saying, the rioters left them alone. What's that?
2 trips ago, so not the last time I was in LA, but I've been to LA 3 times. The middle time, I visited all the spots that we saw pictures of the places. There's like 3 or 4 shopping centers, and then a Winchell's Donuts. They're all there except for the Winchell's Donuts is like, I forget, like some other kind of restaurant now. But I visited all the locations. They're interesting because they're so close to each other, and where it all started is literally just blocks away from each other. It's not a lot of territory to be $40 billion in damage or whatever it was.
Right. That's crazy. I've never been out there. I talk about it and I've seen it, but dude, you've actually been in the neighborhoods. You know what I mean? It's like, interesting.
I mean, it's basically the same place as the Watts riots too, but different era, different circumstances.
Oh yeah.
I keep screen sharing here, but again, he refuses to run an actual legit show. You've never seen Matt.
What do you want? What do you want here? Can't even read it. Look at that.
Because I wasn't ready. So I can look at what I can do. I can enhance because I have the ability to do that shit. So
I have the power.
So this here is the world, right? So this is a bunch of different.
No, that's a chart. That's not the world. That's a chart.
It's a bunch of different countries, and then the population that's in prison. So it's not quite like you'd expect because China has a heck of a lot of people. They don't have that many people in prison, but because China's so huge in population, it's high on the list. But they're actually, this number here is the percentage of people in jail. If you look, there's United States, which is incredibly high. This is the same chart in a different layout with they removed the countries that I don't like. But whatever, this is 700 something per 100,000. So to look at it, we've got 2 million something people in jail, depending on what year you look at. And again, it's something like a number of 600 to 700 percent of our population. You look at some of these other countries, Rwanda, for example, Spain, China, 118 per 100,000. So where we're at 600, most countries are under 100. Some of the countries are between 100 and 200, and then like 3 countries are above 200. And we're cruising at 600. We have 2 million people in prison. If we go look at those 2 million people, this has just been 2 ways of looking at our prison population in comparison to the world. But if we look at our prison population on a calendar over time, when we were all born, we had normal prison populations like a regular country, right? Like almost every other country internationally, like a very small percentage of people in jail. So then you get 1976 to about, what, 2000? And you get this exponential, just an insane amount of growth in prison populations. Is anybody going to suggest this has anything to do with violence, guns, any other social issue? This is one social issue. This is the result of one attempt at the government to control the people in one aspect. It created the prison population, it created the violence, it created every negative we fucking got. And this is the part where I can continue to say we're in a fucking ambush, because they'll ignore this whole situation, look at us over here and say we're in a dire emergency. Back here we were almost nothing. They won't talk about what got us to that and what other things we could do to remove this entire environment. But instead they're going to tell us we need to act as a result of being in this situation. So again, I think we all know what happened between 70s and 2000s, which created this. So when you say, oh, let's ignore what's going on in jail, it's literally a percentage of our population. We only have 300 million people in this country. We have 2.5 million of them in jail. And that is not a bunch of violent people. We didn't get violent all of a sudden.
So yeah, I was to say, so I mean, you think that's drug offenses is
that's possession of a frickin' thing. It might be a possession of a gun, it might be a possession of a joint, it might be a possession of a knife.
Right.
This is
I was going to make the simple observation that, you know what that is? That's more laws. More laws restricting us, that we weren't hurting anybody. We were you got to it's more laws that restrict us. And then you're going to say, oh, well, look, there's more of us in prison. Well, that's because there's more laws making us, and look at why these people are in prison. Look at the laws. More laws. Just more laws equals less freedom. Really? It's simple.
Now, the only other thing are they including in that, which I guarantee you they are, is going to be immigration, because the immigration laws changed in 74, which allowed all of them in the door. And that's what started that was part of the heart of the whole mess. Because if you go actually by the numbers, the majority of what's in the jails and the prisons right now, in the federal prisons, are all illegal immigrants. So that number is skewed. That number is very skewed.
No, you're talking like percentage of our population, whether or not they're really quote unquote our population or not. But as far as like who the hell we're paying for in a cell somewhere, we're still paying for to feed them in a cell somewhere, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely. But I'm just saying, those numbers are skewed because they're not. They can't be talking the actual population, the actual legal population, because you have to break it down to the legal population and the illegal population, even though granted we're still paying for the illegals, but that's going to be two different, very, very, very different numbers.
Yeah, okay. And I'm not saying I'm not stuck to any of these numbers. I just use them as illustration of the concept there that we were all living the same life as the rest of the world. Something happened in 1970 that all of a sudden it changed the way we live and the way that we have to pay for stuff because of the huge bureaucracies that support all that. But yeah, as far as what you're talking about, I consider that just another benefit. Why would you, if you're sitting in some other country that you can walk here, so it could be Canada, some other shithole country that sucks, or one of the awesome countries, because there's a whole bunch of them that are awesome, but they're run by tyrants or some shit. So let's say you can walk here and you're living a shitty life. You can go to the United States, punch somebody in the eye, go to jail and live a better life. That's a benefit. Like I'm considering the kind of bullshit that we offer other countries. You shouldn't be able to just come here and punch somebody in the eye and be done, or stab somebody or whatever, but be done, be set for life. All you got to do is live in this kind of violent apartment building for the rest of your life, but you got everything. You got TV and medical and food. All you got to do is nothing. You just got to wake up and not get killed every morning. And that's better than it is in some countries. So that's we stopped doing that.
Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador. Believe it or not, the ones that we actually deport to, most of those actually do want to go back, with of course the exception of the gang members. The gang members go out of their way to make sure they try to escape, or they try not to go back because they know what's going to happen if they do. Either the government's going to kill them or their gang is going to kill them, one of the two.
And the shit of it is those gang members will come here and start their own little posse gang, and the plot thickens, you know.
Well, see, that's the thing, because when at least anyone going MS-13 going back to Guatemala, they don't make it off the tarmac. The government comes out and they grab them right as they come off the plane, and they take them down to the end of the runway and they shoot them on the spot. That's the end of it. It's over.
Well, yeah, you know what I've seen about MS-13, that they're ruthless. They're like Nazi jackbooted thugs, and well, what are you going to do with people like that? I mean, can you reform them? Can you reform them? The other
gangs, they basically tell them point blank, if you leave your country of origin and you go to the United States, you best not come back, because we take that as a direct violation of your oath that you took to the gang, and we take offense to that. So if they get caught and they get deported, the gang hooks them up and they execute them. They kill them. That's part of that's in their, in their little credo when they take their oath, that they won't leave the country and they'll stay here and serve their gang. But if you go to the United States, you're done if you come back.
I've only taken one oath in my life, and that's the oath to defend and support the Constitution when I joined the Ohio Military Reserve. And that's the only oath I've ever taken. And if them dumbasses take that oath and they think they're going to come here and what? Okay, yeah. Well,
it's amazing how many of those ones in Washington have taken that oath too, and do everything in their power every single solitary day to try to destroy the Constitution.
Thank you. Can't we get them for breach of contract? Breach of oath, breach of contract. I raise my hand to defend the Constitution, and then they do everything they can to shit on it. What?
Yeah, it's a breach of oath of office. That's an automatic removal.
Funny how it doesn't work that way, huh? Because it's all politics. It's all politics.
Yeah. How about we talk about a cool gun? How about that?
That works.
I'm in.
Yeah, cool gun. What do you got?
I saw something today that I thought was pretty cool. Let me Schnikes. Let me screen share.
Schnikes. That was from what? Oh, crap it.
I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember the movie too. Oh, Schnikes. Oh, that was crap. I can't remember. Oh.
So, can you guys see my screen share?
Tommy Boy.
Yeah. Tommy Boy. Yes. Oh, Schnikes. That's a 1911. What is that?
It is. It's a Kimber. And I'm not a huge. I've shot a Kimber or two Kimbers.
Yeah.
And it was fine. I had no issues with it. Other than it was a little finicky on ammo. It hadn't been broken in really when I shot it though. So I mean, I'm not going to talk trash about it. I think for me they're a little overpriced. I'm not, I'm okay with having something a little bit more bare bones. But anyway, that's regardless. I saw this today and I thought this was pretty cool. So,
Alabama.
it says Kimber is proud to become a member. Boy, Kimber's got a typo on their website. It says Kimber is proud to become a member or the Alabama family. Should be of. They should give me a free Kimber for finding that.
Yeah, well, no, I'll report it before you. It's a race now.
There you go. To mark the 200th anniversary of the state of Alabama. Damn it. So this year is the 200th anniversary of the state. And Kimber just they have a factory there now in Troy. I think it said Troy, Alabama. So it says Kimber has issued a run of anniversary TLE Custom 2 pistols to mark the occasion. These are among the first models offered to wear the Troy, Alabama Kimber location markings. Each Alabama anniversary special edition carry will carry a number of special features, including special serial number, Kim Pro 2 finish, true tan frame, and satin slide, black slide. The Alabama state flag with the dates 1819 to 2019 are engraved on the right of the slide, and the state motto, "We dare defend our rights," in Latin, is engraved on the left side of the slide. Both engravings are then filled with red. They're red color filled. So I thought this is pretty cool, man. If you now, what's weird is why don't they show the other side of the pistol?
It's a shame it's a Kimber, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk shit about it because I mean, to each their own kind of thing. I feel like it's a little bit more expensive. Like I said, for myself, I wouldn't go the extra couple $100 to buy this over, like a Ruger or something like that. But I thought this was pretty cool, and I think
it'll probably be $1,000 more than a Ruger.
Well, I was going to say this. Working in the gun store in the 90s, Kimber came out. Kimbers were the top of the line, fine-tuned, awesome machine.
Absolutely.
And they were not that unaffordable. Now they want X amount of dollars for something that it's like, really? I pick it up and it rattles? What?
I first saw this on gun.deals, which it used to be Slick Guns or whatever.
Right.
And it's yesterday it popped up on there. I saw it today, but it says 1 day ago from Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo is the seller. $899.99, so $900. And I feel like $900 is a pretty fair price.
That's actually
so.
Not
is that
bad.
not made in the custom shop then?
I don't know. It says
Apparently not.
Kimber Custom. I mean, it's probably there. They might be saying custom just because of the custom artwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because their custom shop guns are like $1,500 up.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, and then you buy one of their custom shop guns for $1,500, and you got to spend another $1,500 to get the run right.
Well, that is such a lie. I don't know why everybody hates on Kimbers. I got one that I used to carry all the time.
The thing of it is, it isn't just Kimber. The only decent 1911 that I've come across in the last 8 or 9 or 10 years has been SIGs. Every other single solitary 1911 when I was working with the gun shop, these guys come in, they'll spend $1,200 for a gun, and it's like, okay, well, I got to send it out so I can get it to run right because it don't run right. It doesn't. It won't shoot this ammo. It won't shoot that ammo. It doesn't eject right. Mags don't work right. It doesn't feed right.
My first 1911 ever was a Kimber, and it ran like crap. And it completely turned me off of 1911s until recently. And then I went and bought that Dan Wesson, and it ran like crap.
I
just don't use 1911s, so
MSRP is $1,183. So they're looking for $1,183. This place was selling it for $900. That's a pretty good knockdown from MSRP. So I don't know. I'm not here to talk whether Kimber's a good gun or not. I just thought it was a pretty cool concept, and I really like to see this kind of stuff because I think it helps promote. Purchase. It helps people want to buy it, but it also I think it helps to promote people to pass down firearms to their kids or other family members or to even really good friends or something. You know what I mean? When they get older, like, oh, I'm gonna leave this to my best buddy. You know what I mean? It's not just a regular old 1911.
Oh yeah, cool. From a collector standpoint, that's an excellent idea. It's really cool. As long as you don't plan on ever shooting it.
That's what you said there, good buddy.
What's that?
That's what you said there, good buddy.
Good buddy. I can say that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 guns that will go to my son because I built them, or I built them the way they were, or they came from my father. That you see what I mean, and it's like they might not be the best, but there's the whole your guns, buy guns, go to your kids, inherit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's there's some guns that have sentimental value, and there's some guns that are just utilitarian. You know what I mean? There's some guns that are easily replaced, and there's some guns that aren't. It all kind of factors into.
Yeah, you want to pass that on to your children that here, and of course train them to shoot them. But here you go. Here's my stuff, and I hope you get your stuff. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, well, I worked for a gun store for 9 years, had my FFL for 9 years, and in the 9 years that I worked for that gun store, I lived in front of our range for 6 years, and my kids grew up in front of that range, and yeah, we shot a lot, and yeah. And the sad thing is there's so many people that have never experienced things like I did that don't really realize what that means, the shooting, the freedom, and yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people don't understand, that aren't into guns too, that guns are history. There's history attached to guns. There's family history and world history all attached to them, and they're not just chunks of metal and wood. There's more to it than that for sure. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I don't own a 1911. I really want one. So it's one of those things that when different 1911s pop up, I tend to take notice to them.
No.
That would be one you get and put in a wooden box and hanging on a wall.
Hey, Midnight, what are you drinking? What was that? What
birch beer?
Why do you care about Alabama gun?
Why do I care about Alabama gun?
What's so good about Alabama?
Go Bama.
Nothing.
Go Bama.
Nothing. Maybe they'll do a Pennsylvania gun someday.
Yeah, whatever it hits 200 years, if it ever does.
I don't know when Pennsylvania was founded. To tell you the truth, I'm not really sure. I know our second amendment is worded even probably better than the national one.
Yes, yeah, the Pennsylvania one is worded
shall not be questioned.
Yeah, pretty explicit. And the thing of it is, the Pennsylvania judiciary, they don't argue with that either. It's like, no, this is the way it's written, and this is the way it's going to be. Yeah, even though there's a whole bunch of Dems involved there too, but they don't.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's really Pennsylvania is very typical of how the nation works too, where we've got a few places that really screw it up for everybody. Philly and Pittsburgh and some of the other cities are just making it. Yeah, G just put it up there. said the right of the citizens to bear arms in defense of themselves and the state shall not be questioned.
Yep.
Pretty awesome. That was
Like
first, too.
And I know Philly when they came out with that. When they came out with that crap that we're a class 2 city and you can't carry inside the city limits. That got kiboshed real quick.
Well, that too out with Pittsburgh right now with Paducah.
Yeah.
That whole they're just saying no, the hell with preemption. We're gonna ban this whether the state says it's legal or not. That is bullshit, man. That is such bullshit. And it's not the citizens that want it. That's the thing either. You know what I mean? Like it's people in offices in politics, and it's just I hate it. It sucks. I don't get it. The law it's lawless.
Midnight, you were saying that a lot of the people that they're for these laws, they live in the cities. They don't look at the rural. And honestly, people try to argue that the big cities are where all the people are. No, it's not.
Well, I think people too, we're kind of used to voting, especially people that are indifferent about, who to vote for if they're not sure. It comes down to them voting for the one or two things that are really important to them. And somebody that in the city that doesn't own guns, they're not into guns, or out of the city, whatever, it's not on their radar. They don't care. So they're like, you ban them. I don't give a shit. Okay, maybe it'll help. I don't care. And it's
sheeple.
What happens. But kind of talking about this stuff now, it's a good segue into next month on the 24th and 25th. There's going to be. Gee, what's up?
You bought a Segway?
Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, when you see me in a full body cast, you know that I bought a Segway.
That was funny. I would probably be the same way, but yeah.
Yeah. I broke 97% of the bones in my body. You bought a Segway, didn't you? Yeah, tried to.
Did the Segway say Evil Knievel on it?
Yeah. I painted it red, white, and blue. Put some flames on it. It's pretty bitching. It's pretty bitching. So the 24th and 25th of next month of September. I did let you back in, Snob. You don't have to cry.
Hell, I've been out here for 30 minutes.
Look it. This guy makes one little, let me in. Boom, right in. He stops everything, lets this guy right in. I see how it is.
Snob's on the payroll, man. Snob's on the payroll.
Don't let anybody tell you there ain't 2 doors into this chat.
No, don't let anybody tell you.
I got it so I could deliver Uber Eats. Yeah, they'd never get the shit would never get there. That's for sure. So the 24th and 25th of next month at the Capitol in Harrisburg, I'm doing a couple of rallies. The one on the 24th is earlier in the morning. I believe it starts at 9, goes to 12. And the other one, I believe, starts at 11 and goes till 2. Black Cat put a video out, and I will grab that now. I'll tell you the truth. And link it in the chat.
Yeah, I need to find the link for the rally in Columbus, Ohio, next the 7th. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. Budget's got it. Actually, that's what we were texting about. But yeah, rally the 7th at the Capitol, and then I'm doing the Creator Summit 13th, 14th, and 15th. So I'm hoping I can make the Harrisburg, which is the following. Yeah, it's getting busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, glad to have you if you can make it out. I'm gonna try and go both days, as long as something ridiculous doesn't happen. Rally racing segways, yeah. Don't get your tail caught. So, like I said, and that's a
They just
What's
have
that?
ears. Apes don't have tails. It's just monkeys that have tails.
He has a tail. He's got a tail. He's got a picture of a monkey. Just because he's trying to be slick and calling himself an ape.
You're saying that he's not, in fact, an ape, just an upscale monkey trying to pull something over everybody.
Dead Horse said 30th thumb. Is that true? 30 thumbs ups?
He didn't say up, did he?
A lot of times people think like, well, this is how I get out of here. Like I hitchhike out of this. Like, how do I get out of here? And they click on that thumb, but then they're like, oh, I'm still here. And then they start X's.
That's probably it. I'll be damned if 31 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. That's awesome.
Anybody who's interested, if you
How the hell that happened?
If you go and complain to YouTube, they'll give you back this time. You'll get all the
You can get a rebate. You can get a refund. You totally can get a refund for this. If you got it, you got to bitch to the right person. You got to bring some tears up, get some tears in your eyes.
Let him know you feel it's important that he gets no watch time for this. No watch time.
Have you ever seen that, G? Have you ever? I mean,
no. I only hang out with people that are good and that are doing positive stuff for the good of the world. Not stuff that gets negative. Like that's taking the time away from people. Like now they're actually
negative.
The worth of it, and they're like, net result. You took time away from these people's lives.
I'm gonna change my channel name to Negative Nancy.
We're older, but not wiser. We didn't learn nothing from it, so we're getting a net.
I'm laughing with you, G. That's that. Yep, nail on the head, brother.
So if you Armament, if you didn't see it, I posted up an Instagram picture today of my analytics and from a couple days ago. And one of my live streams, it'll tell you how many views you've had in 48 hours or whatever, 60, 50, 40, whatever it is. One of my live streams had -1. I'm like, how the hell in the shit do you get -1 view?
This is the thing. I don't look at the analytics a lot, but it's funny. Right when we hit 603, and then we went back to 595, and then I'm like, and then I go to my analytics, and I'm like, what's going on, dude? It's YouTube. It
is what it is. I mean,
don't fret yourself over it. It's like,
oh, I don't care. I very rarely look. I look just out of curiosity to look at stuff.
It's funny that you mentioned that because yes, I've seen the same thing. I'm like, what? It goes this. It goes up. It goes down. I'm like,
yeah. So 24th and 25th, up there in under Fine Ape. There, he's talking about Uber Eats. That link, it will take you to Blackout Outdoors video on it. Really gives some specifics. He asks people if you're able to get there early so we can get inside and take up space so that we're not just standing out front, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I ended up having to do last time, but take up space.
Bloomberg will get a bus full of people and pay them $20, right? And then they will get there early because they're getting paid, and they will fill up seats inside with the same color shirt. Consider buying Tony Simon 2A4E, buying his blue shirts, which are only $10 shipped. They're an awesome deal. They're a decent shirt. They're a good color. And they say 2A4E with his logo, and then they say gun control equals racism. And you can get the blue ones or the black ones. But I think that's a great way to have a consistent uniform shirt. $10. $10.
Yeah, they are $10, aren't they? It's a good idea.
$10 shipped.
Yep.
With all that money you save, go over and buy things at gearwebsites.com.
Shameless plug.
Gearwebsites.com. You get Snob. You got to come up with a little jingle for Gear Websites that'll really push their sales.
Right,
I'm sure.
that, and nobody will ever go there.
Gearwebsites.com. Be something like that, I'm sure.
That's a jingle that needs to be made.
Well, we could make it kind of sound like the farmersonly.com.
That's what. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. Yeah.
All right, I'm a musician. We'll get together. We'll we'll make this happen, man. Let's do this.
What's the joke? I heard somebody say it when. What was the joke? It was, you can never go wrong with cousinsonly.com.
Yeah, there you go.
Get in the truck,
Best, keep it in the family.
Get in the truck, sis.
You too can be Pro 2A at gearwebsites.com.
There you go. Boy, get ready, G. Here comes the orders. Better get the shipping labels ready.
He's going to run out of patches tonight.
How many lawsuits have just been filed?
How many patches did you sell? All the patches. All the patches.
He's like, just don't ever sing that again.
he's I'm waiting for you're gonna get an email about 5 minutes like, hey, I'll give you $25 store credit if you don't do that again.
You're costing me something.
Ape said, does Tony do bulk orders? I don't know.
You're costing me money. He says
So I posted the link.
I wonder. I'll have to email Tony and see if he's make sure he knows about it. He might even maybe I can get him to come out and visit for one of the days.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I hit him up on Instagram or something. I mean, holy shit! If we're trying to fill up the room, me and Tony standing in there, that's like half the fucking room right there.
Okay, if it's me and some other skinny guy, we're like in the corner, and
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Harrisburg rally?
Yeah.
Remind me before we log out tonight. I want to give you a name for a gentleman in Berks County.
Okay.
He runs Berks County Patriots.
Fred. I know Fred too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Glimsex's like, how'd you really know that?
All I can say is this is all us guys that think the same way and we're wanting to rally, and we better really get together and we better coordinate because it's starting to get real. You know what I mean? And I've been dealing with this shit for a long time, but I'm seeing it getting really real. You know what I mean? So,
well, let's just put it this way: if you can get the guy up there to talk with regards to two-way, which if his schedule is available, that's if he's not already going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But if his schedule is available, the problem of it is when you mention his name up there, they cringe. It's like, oh no, not again. Yeah, he's very active up on the hill, and very active.
Black Cat I can let me know, and now I can forward it to RL. As RL's like super active with PAFOA. He knows all those guys and deals with them all the time. So he'll know. I'm sure he'll know who you're talking about. And,
probably,
like I said, be able to say
I know
yes
he does a lot of the behind the scenes political stuff. He doesn't get he does it all. He just doesn't just go on one issue. He goes on a whole bunch.
Yeah, I love RL. He says I'm gonna video this and I'm gonna video that and I'm gonna show you this. RL's freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's real up to date. He's really up on a lot of stuff. He sends me a lot of, he'll send me messages, he'll text me or email me or whatever, and stuff's going on, and he's really good with that. And he seems to be able to decipher some of the bills much better than me, man. I try and read some of the bills, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this even says. And then when you start getting into some of the more recent ones here over the last couple of months that I've tried to read, I've read, when they mention other bills, it gets really confusing. It's hard to kind of make heads or tails of it if you're really not good with it. So yeah, I tip my cap to him on that one.
Well, I said it earlier.
I stuck with that.
I said it earlier that the problem is the way that bills are written. They want to write a lot of lingo into it, And the common person is like, oh, we got to spend like, 3/4 of our week to read this bill to see what. And honestly, guys, go look at bills. They're written now and look into the wording. And it's like, what are taxpayers paying our politicians to write these?
No.
Go look at them. They're so overworded, and and this is the thing, they make the words enough to, oh, we're not going in through the front door, we're going in through the back door.
Well, I think that's probably a bigger issue. Is it's not how they're worded; it's how they're not worded, or what they're not saying. I think is probably now. I don't know. I'm not a.
What the hell is
Say
that?
again?
What the hell is that supposed to be?
I'm saying, like, a lot of the vagueness in them, I think, is what causes a lot of issues and what's so scary about some of them.
That's the point I was making tonight.
Isn't that really
the vagueness? Yes, the vagueness, and how it can be interpreted so many ways. We can throw this law out there, and the way that you word the law, people go, oh yes, it sounds so good, but there's a lot of gray areas, and that's the vagueness, and that's the part that the people take of that law and bend it in every way, shape, or form. Make sense?
The hell, we lost Snob again? What the hell's going on out there?
Don't pay him enough.
Yeah. Well, he's a big jingler now. He's writing those big jingles and stuff. I can't afford that. He's famous now.
Big jingle balls.
He's famous now. Shit.
Is that famous or infamous? Infamous, infamous, that whatever.
Yeah.
He went to the Patriot in the Dark school of panel guests, so he's just going to drop out and come back in a dozen times.
Yeah, 40 times. Yeah. Patriot he opened his own chat last week, the one day, just to try and get used to it. He did okay with it, seemed like. All right. Anything else? Indiegogo? GunTube? GunTube.org?
You said anything else? I said any Indiegogo GunTube. Come on, people. Go donate, man. Come on.
They've been throwing Ape and Obnoxious, probably, looks like, just through the link out there for GunTube. It's a good one to go help, man. It's helping us out a lot as guys that do live shows. It will give us the ability to, have a larger panel.
Which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
I will say this, as somebody that does their shows late at night, it's hard. It's a little bit harder sometimes because it is late at night, guys. People are tired, especially here on the East Coast. It's 1:00 now. So the more people you get in the chats, sometimes you need a bunch of people in here just to liven it up and have the energy. And in other nights, it's it's not an issue. But Fine Ape said all odd numbers have the letter E in them. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram today. Somebody posted it. I don't know who posted it. It was a meme of like somebody's picture of somebody's brain, them and them trying to go to sleep, and then you see the letters. All odd numbers have the letter E in them, and their eyes are like all big, and they were like, "Oh, great! Now I can't get to sleep because I'll be thinking of that all night or whatever." Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like that. So hit it up. $1, $2, $3, whatever you can throw at it. If you are a creator and you're getting some money through Patreon, throw a little bit of your Patreon money at it. Okay. A lot of people don't have a lot of money floating around. I understand that. But it's a really, you're not just helping out Night Strike. and you're not just helping out people that put their videos on GunTube. You're helping out, which is really important, but you're helping out the people that use the service.
Because you get big cut.
Big cut, you know it. Big cut of the beard trimmings, probably.
Yeah, I don't want that beard trimming. I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't want that beard trimming. The other straight up is, I've dumped some money into GunTube, and Night Strike has got a good thing going. Actually, I've went live with him on his thing, and it was like, oh, test, is this going to work kind of thing? And it kind of did. Point being is, you know something? I think Night Strike and the GunTube's got something going, and if we support this, we will still have a platform. And I give that brother credit. He's doing it. Please support him. Please support him. I have no qualms that Night Strike's doing this to get rich. Night Strike's doing this to get this platform going. So anybody out there, don't have qualms. Night Strike's doing this to get rich. He's doing this to get this platform going for us.
Maybe.
Most of us.
Oh no, he knows better, because if not, I'll park a white bus out in front of his house and deliver some nice upstanding citizens for him to help take care of.
I think this is all about the ladies.
The ladies.
You saw Ape's comment, huh?
I haven't been reading.
Likely story.
No, not like that. I'm thinking of all the gun channels, the female gun channels that are going to be over on that GunTube, desperately vying for the first page rank.
There you go.
Did you say female gun channels?
Hey, they'll do anything. They'll do anything on the front page. Anything, Mr. Night Strike.
Mr. Night Strike.
Mr. Night Strike.
Does he have a couch? Does he have a casting couch? Or
You don't need a couch.
You
You need a couch if you've got a tube.
Casting tube.
He got his own little island going.
Jesus.
I'm a little concerned right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I look at Night Strike is
donated so much money.
He's at 46%, and he's got 6 days left. So if you haven't donated, get your ass over there and donate.
Like I said, I think I donated almost, I don't know, 70, 80. I don't know. I just keep donating. And Obnoxious put out his video and he says, hey, I don't want to hear it. Go donate $1. And I was like, okay, I'll go donate another $1. And I'm like, what's that put it at now? And I'm like, I don't know. I forgot. I look at my prepaid credit card and go, do I got enough money? Send him $10. Send him $20. You know what I mean?
Well, it gives us a chance to not have to worry about being able to use YouTube. You know, if to rely on YouTube so much and StreamYard, I should say, I guess more than YouTube, but we see YouTube's getting rid of that messenger feature too. I saw that yesterday.
I barely learned that thing existed just a few weeks ago, and now it's gone.
Yeah, nobody uses it. So
yeah, it's really nice if you're on mobile, but other than that, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I mean,
I was just gonna say, I heard through all the damn chats and live streams I hung out tonight, somebody said that Google Hangouts was coming back. They were doing upgrades and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, well, wait and see. You know what I mean?
Google Hangouts is still there for now, so I mean, it's possible, I guess.
Google Hangouts doing live stream, no. You see what I mean? It was so easy.
Right.
yeah, but they were like, "Oh, we're done with that." But I heard that they might be coming back with it. So I don't know. Keep your eyes open.
I've heard that they've got a lot of negative feedback from people since they were taking that away. So
Good,
I don't
screw
know.
them. Like,
Maybe,
I wouldn't doubt that.
Honestly, I'll say this: like, even if I did hear that they were probably going to come back, I don't even know that I would mention it. I'd keep my damn mouth shut because I want to see Night Strike. I want to see GunTube get funding and be able to do it. And if freaking Hangouts is going to come back, then it's gonna kill his fundraising ability, and I don't want to see that happen. So
I don't think it'll kill that. The message that we have to put out is, look, you can come here. This is GunTube. You can come here and you can say whatever you want as long as it's not, saying you're going to hurt people. Because we all know that, we're getting red flagged on YouTube for saying we're pro-rape. Point I'm saying is, yeah, we need to have more platforms that we can, everything's social media today. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying too is, like, Hangouts, went away, and people found other ways to do things. Some ways are kind of complicated, or they don't work really well, and some, like StreamYard here, is really simple to use. And my only qualm with it is I'd like to have more than 6 people. If StreamYard was trash and it didn't work at all and it was a pain in the ass, and all the other ways didn't work very well, Night Strike would have got his funding quick. People would have been like, oh shit, we need somewhere good. Let's get behind this guy and do it. But unfortunately, or fortunately to some people, but unfortunately to him, some of these other, platforms, StreamYard, it's, in one instance works really well. So people are like, I'm not going to help fund. You know what? I'm not going to throw any money to that because we got StreamYard. It works fine. No big deal. So I know the people that are like us, like me, or the other guys here that are doing live shows have been really pushing hard. A lot of us have been pushing really hard to try and get him some funding. But I think it needs to come from the other side too, people that are just watching the content.
Yep. Well,
because it's going to go, if it goes away, then you got nobody to blame but yourself.
And we had that brief discussion off air before we started tonight. There's, there's other potential issues that other people won't promote because of those issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's.
They're afraid of Night Strike's going to steal their women. They don't want.
No,
yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Okay, we'll go with that one.
No, I was gonna make a point. He said people won't push this because other issues, and they might. And this is the thing, depending on where you live, you might get chastised for that, and you gotta live with what you say. And I don't know.
What? I don't know what you mean.
Well, no. See, he wasn't involved in that when we were talking earlier. So,
yeah, it is a bummer. It's a bummer that we're not seeing, a little bit more help to try and get it. I think it's not. We're halfway there, and I think that's great. But I think the rest of it needs to come. Try and get it knocked out here if we can. So. Yeah, people that are watching, people that watch this that don't create, get on board with us. Help us promote it. Bring it up in chats. Bring it up in other people's chats, and email some of the guys, some of the bigger channels. Be like, hey, I did talk to Night Strike about us asking, on his behalf, and he said go ahead. I didn't want to step on his toes and email and make him feel uncomfortable by asking instead of him. But he was like, go ahead. So, I think it's important for people that just watch the chats in the chat sections or send an email or if you're going to send a super chat or something, say, hey, check out guntube.org. They're doing an Indiegogo, digitally preserving the Second Amendment, I know is a big thing that he's saying, which I think is a great little catchphrase. But also that it's going to, let people know that it's going to give them the ability to have a bigger panel and, hopefully a smoother platform to use.
Thing I was saying is guntube.org Pro 2A. That's the bottom of the line. You're not gonna stop it. See what I mean? Pro 2A.
So I got to write something down here. So we're gonna probably.
What is this? 1982.
This is the 70s. Oh, this super high tech pen. No, I'm just writing this guy's name down.
1982. Is that like John has a long mustache? Or
I don't know.
chairs against the wall? Was that 84? I think that was 84, right? G?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway.
All right. So does anybody else have anything they want to bring up? I did a lot of talking today. I apologize.
We can talk about how beautiful I am.
Yeah, it looks like it. You look awesome. You look awesome there.
Yeah, we're not going to talk. Hey, if you want to talk about how beautiful he is, whatever. All right. I'm good, guys. Peace.
Are we talking about Snob's wife again?
Oh, well, yeah.
Hey, wait, that's all we have to do to get AMA to go to bed?
Him.
Talk about how beautiful I am?
Snob, you are so beautiful.
Oh, look, even cows
funny.
can donate to GunTube.
There you go. Finance says, is this about the gay frogs stealing Night Strike 1 good blue dress? I don't know. I think one of the biggest controversies right now is the fact that there was that painting of Clinton in a blue dress. I think that's really fishy.
I thought Clinton painted a blue dress. I'm really confused.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm just still laughing. So, okay, I'm going to mute my mic because I'm laughing.
So thanks, Moo. Thanks for donating. Tell him we sent you over there. So, yeah, I think it's important to also, I should mention, I want to say too, to help Night Strike stay positive, but also motivate him to keep on it, because he's got a good thing there, and I hate to see it not do well. I know he's really excited about it. I want to see him succeed. So,
honestly, dude, I can say I see Night Strike. He's dude's hyper, and I hope he can make this work. You know what I mean?
Oh, he can. It's not a if. It's just a matter of can he get enough support. That's all. That's all it is.
Yeah, and been trying to support him from the start.
Get your punk kid out there. Is that yeah? I don't think so. Billy's little Willie won't stay home. Utter one. Donated an utter one. An otter. Yep, George says, I'm sure Night Strike can do it. He just needs the money to get things going. Yeah, I mean, it's that's all it is. So let's cut it off here.
Okay, before we do, I guess I jumped on the YouTube side because I've been here. And I guess my son, Hill Climb Ohio, JB's out there, so I'm going to give a shout out to him. Then I'm going to.
That's what I just said. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
Midnight
I said
already
you're
said that. You're behind.
Okay, I'm behind then. Damn it! I'll send the kid a text or something. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. Peace, man.
See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, Midnight.
Yeah, buddy.
Peace, brother.
All right. So, Glimtech, what's going on with you? We'll get out of here. Say our goodbyes.
Yeah, not a whole hell of a lot. All quiet in the hood right now, which I guess is kind of a good thing.
Yeah, quiet's fine with me.
Other than that, thanks for the invite. It's been
absolutely glad you could hang out all night with us.
It's been an interesting evening of conversation. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and it shows by the actual views you got, the thumbs up you got. So hey.
Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know. That's probably the most I've ever had. That's really cool. That surprised me.
They'll all be gone by in the morning.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all alt channels. And then tomorrow they'll just be wiped out. Yeah, we didn't get up there as far as viewers go, but man, people seem to like the conversation tonight. So that was I appreciate that. Armament's already gone. He said goodbye. Snob, what's going on? Get out of here.
Man, I got a whole week's worth of shilling to do, so
Shilling like a villain.
Yeah. Go check out my Tanker Thompson video that released this morning. And then I just put a video up on Instagram. I just got through editing that and threw that up just a minute ago, so go check that out. And then this week I've got some SAR 9 upgrades coming out, and then probably about Friday I'll have a Springfield 911 and 9mm video.
Shilling for Springfield. I don't know.
I'm not shilling for them, just looking at their gun. It's a nice little gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always thought Springfield was cool, and it's a shame I pissed at him.
Yeah.
Herbnerxious one.
Oh, I don't know. Check out my channel. Check out my Instagram. I'll probably get out and do a video with that Bond Arms today. This week. What I won't be doing is a Springfield video because I like the Second Amendment.
You have a Springfield video, so hush.
But other than that, thanks for the invite. Everybody go over and support GunTube.
Yeah, buddy. G, you got anything to say? You got more propaganda? Throw out there? Demand your view time and thumbs back. That's bullshit, man. What the hell are you trying to do?
Just letting people know their rights.
Then G's in the pocket of big waffles. He doesn't even give a shit anymore. He's too far gone.
So this is Sunday. You get a lot of views on this show, and a lot of people hang out or whatever. But if you'll notice, there's a lot of less live stuff happening, and there's not growth. There's not like evolution of the conversations. And that's not necessary, and that's not obligatory, and that's not the way it has to be or the only way it can be, but it's certainly a way that it has in the past been. And that's what got me stoked to be part of these conversations, this online conversation that's going on. We're going into 2020. I've been spending time trying to figure out who the players are and who the players have been in 2A, in our history and our fights and our evolution of awareness and our going forward. And I've been looking at the generations, the silent generation, the greatest generation, the baby boomers, the Gen X's, the millennials, and then whatever they're going to end up calling the Gen Ys or whatever. Those people are 20-something years old. They're 22 years old. They're to 18 or whatever. This is their first time that they're voting. They're going to be as influential as our parents, the baby boomers. The baby boomers from this election, 2020 on, will be less and less influential, less and less even a blip on the radar as the millennials and the Gen Ys take the 2020 election and every subsequent election on from that. So, we've got decisions to make and we've got time. So we've got time that we don't get back, and we've got, again, decisions to make on how we spend our time going forward. So if you're an adult and you're listening to this and you're having a good time, enjoying the internet, the abilities that we have to communicate and have a good time, realize that you're honing skill set and abilities that can be useful. We're about to go into the gun rights policy conference. I can't tell you how disappointing it is to find out from direct contact, asking people via email and following up with them. I can't tell you how discouraging it is to find out how few people are going to be attending the gun rights policy conference. That is simply an ability or an opportunity for all these organizations to get together. Going forward, we're going to have people that have in the past been influential and whatever you want to call, like celebrity status on the internet, and they're going to have, and they have enjoyed and they do enjoy much influence on the people that use the internet. As time goes on and we see the people who use the internet shift from our parents to our children, they're the people who now have influence, just like any other form of entertainment or communication. They're going to lose influence, and the people that are just starting now are going to attain stature and they're going to attain rank. There are some superstars of 2A right now, some amazing brains that are just doing some amazing stuff. And I'm just saying all this stuff to the 30 people that are listening, because I suspect you're some of the last people who gave a shit about this kind of stuff, this live conversation. I can tell you, I've been doing this since 2013. I don't make a fucking dime. I barely make do. I've got fucking holes in the roof, and I fucking don't eat. I quit smoking because it costs too much to spend $50 a month on cigarettes. Like, this is not a money-making thing. I'm talking to you 30 people because you fucking have influence. You have the ability to be the glue and the bridges, the mortar and the bricks of the new people who are coming and the old-ass people who we're standing on the shoulders of. Fucking, you can spend your time sitting in seats watching this shit go by. I'm not saying this on Matt's chat. I'm not saying this to 500 people talking to Yankee or following on Yankees, because they don't give a shit. But I suspect you 30 people might. You have influence. You have time. Use your fucking time. We've got a few months left before the 2020 election goes nuts. We can either have the best seats in the House and have the most effective ability to watch the shit from our easy chairs, or we can be the most effective group of rallying motherfuckers that scare the fucking politicians just enough to leave us alone for fucking decades. The new kids that are coming are nothing to be discounted. They are not fucking lazy. They are not fucking idiots. They are fucking learning. And the military arms channels and the Hickox and the Forgotten Weapons are losing their influence on these kids who have already absorbed everything they have to offer and are now thirsty for new knowledge. The information that we've got and the time and the skill set that we've got could be used to get those people some info. So hopefully it's not falling on deaf ears. Value your fucking voices. Value the time and the effort that you have to have influence on the future. These new kids are not wasting their time. Every bit of time you spend on the internet, that Gizzard is in here spending on the internet, that is being fucking archived. And these kids are going to be able to absorb that. They're going to be more savvy than ever to be able to root out valid shit. And the more time we spend farting around and wasting time is what I keep saying. We're just watching this shit happen and having a good time watching it. We don't have to be spectators. We can have influence. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. One kind of neat thing that happened too tonight. I got a message on Instagram that Savage Firearms had added one of my videos, my Instagram video, to their stories, and it was the one where I took a picture and then a short video of me cleaning, having my son clean the bolt of my rifle, the 308. And he's wiping down the bolt. He did, I was just a little paper towel and he was cleaning. He was going back and forth and back and forth, and he was wiping the bolt down. It was really cute with his little fingers. I can say pass on the importance and the respect of firearms to your kids. I think it's super, super important. Because if we make them normal to them, right off the bat, and let them know that they're important and why they're important, and that they're safe and they can be used for all these things in life, not just protection, but I think that's really, really cool. So that was kind of something neat that happened. They noticed, they saw my video and they thought it was cool enough to take note of it. So that was kind of neat.
That's awesome. Plus, now we can say you're in a big pocket, a big Savage. So
Yeah. Well, it's kind of neat because they had sent me some swag a while back. I had given some of it away, patches and some cool stuff. So that was kind of neat, but it was just out of nowhere. Like in that video, I did that post quite a while ago, a couple months ago. I don't know what, all of a sudden somebody took notice of it and they thought it was kind of cool. So, but it was neat. And then, what G said, just some of the talk tonight, it's kind of cool, talking about the next generation of kids and all that. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for the conversation. We will see you next time. Take it easy. Bye.
See ya.
Hashtag
That's Caffro.
shall not be infringed.